So thank you for being at our briefing today. Today is October 2nd, Wednesday, at our County of Monterey weekly news briefing. And today we have a lot of topics to discuss, and they cover a wide variety of topics. But first on our list is the County of Monterey Career Fair. And we're joined by Andres Pyper, the County of Monterey's Human Resource Director, as well as Dr. Michael Gutierrez, President of Hartnell College. And we're going to start to learn about what this career fair is all about from Andres. And then also from Dr. Gutierrez, we'll learn about what it means to partner with Hartnell College and the County of Monterey. So welcome, Andres. And why don't you give us some background information about this upcoming great career fair opportunity we have?
Okay, good. Good afternoon, Nicholas. Nick, thank you very much for the opportunity to speak to everybody about our inaugural county career fair that we are having. And we'd like to, first of all, thank Hartnell College for being such a willing partner with us. They've provided the location for us, specifically at the Hartnell College Steinbeck Hall, which is located on the campus. So just very briefly, the idea of this career fair is to allow people to come and meet the departments that give services and provide services to the wonderful citizens of Monterey County. So we're going to have over 22 departments who are going to be there at the career fair. These are exclusively all departments that it's just the County of Monterey. The idea is for anybody, any of our citizens to come to the career fair, come and explore and find out about what positions we have available right now, and also find out a little bit more about what type of jobs and careers are available with the County of Monterey. We will also at the location, we will also have laptops available for people who are interested and who would like to, learn how to apply for a county job. And also we will have representatives from the various departments to tell people about all the different careers that you can explore. Even positions that we might not be advertising right now, but that people, don't always know the incredible amount of career opportunities that we have here available to people from the county. The idea is, you want to serve your community. You want to help us redefine public service. That is the wonderful thing that we'd like you to come and do and come and explore. Also, what I'd like to really thank Hartnell College for is that typically you will pay for parking while you're on the campus, but they've actually made their visitor parkings available free of charge for next week. So if you come that day and you park in the parking structure, you do not have to worry about having to pay for your parking. And you do not have to worry about that somebody you're going to come back and have a wonderful little love letter on your saying you owe so much money. So it's on bus routes. And also fantastic for us is that we can partner, and it's going to give direct access for so many of our fellow college students who are at Hartnell, so they can come and explore career opportunities with the county. So that's really what it is. It is going to be from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. And here's a small little tidbit. You're going to get a little passport when you arrive there. And, if you've completed half of your passport, you will be eligible for a drawing for a small prize. And if you complete the whole passport, then, you will be eligible for drawing of a grand prize. But really, this is what it's about. So once again, I'd like to thank Hartnell College. I'd like to thank my team led by Michael Rosales, who's done a magnificent job. And without this and without the partnership at Hartnell College, this would have not been possible. So thank you very much.
And so, speaking of public service, obviously, Dr. Gutierrez is no stranger to public service. Being the president and superintendent of community college system is certainly part of public service. What does this mean for Hartnell College to partner with the county in this sort of way to help students see the opportunities that exist here at the County of Monterey?
Well, Mr. Pyper did a pretty amazing job describing the partnership, and really what I will add is that the county and Hartnell College have been longtime partners, especially with internship programs that our students have been benefiting from. And what this does, it allows our students, many of them that want to remain in Monterey County, to have opportunity with the largest employer in the area. And so it will give them this long-term connection to be able to continue to live here. And we really want that, because anytime we have to outsource our jobs, that will add to the housing shortage. It will add to the traffic. And we already have people, we have students here that want to remain in our county, people that are trying to upskill. And it's really a win-win situation with both our students and our community.
And just so people maybe that don't know in the community, how many students does Hartnell College have?
So this fall semester, we have approximately 9,500 students, unduplicated headcount, and our semester is up, and we are actually have already surpassed where we were pre-pandemic numbers. So we're quite excited that we're not just back, but we are even in growth mode in what we're doing with serving people in our county, specifically Salinas and the Salinas Valley.
Excellent. And, of course, many of these students are going to go on to four-year universities and things of that nature. But of course, many of them, based on my experience, want to come back here and work in the county and work in their own community. And the college offers a lot of services to the students to help them find jobs. You want to go over a few of those highlights?
Sure. There's multiple ways that our students can get connected to the jobs. We partner or host our very own job fairs, like this particular event, and this is a critical one, especially again with the County of Monterey being the largest employer in our area. The other is we do have career services available for our students that are close to graduating, or maybe in the beginning process and aren't sure what they want to major and what career they want to participate in. So with that, we have one of the largest internships, externships, apprenticeship programs nationally. We've had these programs in effect since 2005, and it's being replicated by other colleges when they come and see what Hartnell College is doing. And what's critical about that is it gives our students a real opportunity to connect with resources, with business and industry, with public institutions, gives them that experience that they can connect with the theory that's happening in the classroom, and it makes them marketable and allows them to see our area as a viable place, that they don't have to go work elsewhere, whether it's Silicon Valley or LA, that we have opportunities for them to stay here as well.
That's fantastic. And I know that our HR team is excited about this. Anything else from our HR team? Michael, did you have anything you wanted to add to the discussion? I know you've been intricately involved in the preparations and plannings of this.
Yeah, thanks so much, Nick. Thank you again, everyone, and thank you for the collaboration with Hartnell College. I can say from the interaction between the college and our departments, everyone's looking forward to and excited to participate in this event. So thank you again.
Excellent. And I'll open it up. Yes, go ahead.
I just want to also one of the wonderful thing, and Dr. Gutierrez touched on this, is if you go on and pursue a 4-year degree, or even you have your 2-year degree, and in your process you are accumulating student loans. The wonderful thing is if you come and work for the County of Monterey, you then can participate in the public student loan forgiveness program, which pretty means after you've made, your minimum payments and you've worked for the county for 10 years, and hopefully we'll hope you work for the county for 25 years, you can pretty much get your student loans forgiven. So those are one of the key things that that differentiates us as an employer is that, you have these student loans, and here's an opportunity to serve your community, come back to your community, and also have your student loans forgiven once you've put in a number of years and certain payments in it. So that is a great thing. Our opportunities allow you to pursue full-time employment, and you might even be doing your bachelor's degree on a part-time basis at one of our local institutions as well. So that, I think, is really one of the things that a lot of people don't know when they come and talk to us at the various tables, that you know, you work for the county, there we are. That's a great way. And who would not want their student loans forgiven? I mean, show me the person who does not want that forgiven. So I thought that's a little bit of a extra incentive I wanted to drop in there for everybody.
Absolutely. And I certainly know a few students that would love that as well. So thank you for bringing it up. And again, thank you. Thank you, Dr. Gutierrez, for taking the time out of your busy schedule to be with us today during this briefing. If you would be kind enough to stay on the line for a while, and we may get some questions from our media. But we're going to shift gears now, and we are going to go to a different topic, if you will, a topic that is near and dear to everybody in the Salinas Valley, and that's water. And with us today, and for the first time live in person, we are experimenting today with having people live. We have our Azhderian, who's the general manager of the Water Resource Agency for the County of Monterey, which is known as the Monterey County Water Resource Agency. And ours will give us an update on the public participation and passage of a new ordinance to expand the Water Resource Agency's groundwater monitoring program, something that I know many people in our county, in particular agriculture and industry, is interested to know about. So Ara, welcome, and thank you for being our first live guest.
Yeah, well, thank you, Nick, and go Panthers. So here today to talk about an action that was taken by the Water Resource Agency's Board of Supervisors yesterday to adopt a new ordinance, which for the first time expands the groundwater monitoring program that the agency administers, which was, has been in place for over 75 years now, but the last ordinance that was adopted is over 30 years old. So it's been some time since, this has been revisited. And so a natural question is, why now? And so the agency's been doing groundwater monitoring, groundwater levels since the 1940s, water quality since the 1960s, and thankfully you work about groundwater extraction since the 1990s. And all of that effort proved to be invaluable in terms of when in 2014, the state passed new groundwater regulation laws called the Sustainable Groundwater Management Act. And the act mandates that different parts of the state develop plans to ensure that their groundwater supplies are sustainable. And the deadline for implementation of those plans varies a bit, but essentially we're talking by 2040. And so while leading up till 2014, the county and the Water Resources Agency was positioning itself well in terms of implementing best management practices, that work was, albeit a good idea, it was discretionary. It was really the passage of the Sustainable Groundwater Management Act that changed the paradigm and created this regulatory environment that we now work in today. And part of the purpose of the ordinance is to modernize our practices and our approach to all of this to meet today's regulatory standards. We've been working for well over the past year on this new ordinance and on the program as a whole with another agency called the Salinas Valley Basin Groundwater Sustainability Agency. It's another mouthful, I know. And so that agency was formed shortly after the passage of the Sustainable Groundwater Management Act to act as the entity that would oversee the governance of groundwater. It would oversee the development of plans and essentially was assigned the responsibility to demonstrate to the state, more specifically the Department of Water Resources, that we are indeed managing our groundwater basin wisely and that we are achieving sustainability by the deadlines established by the law. And so our role in all of this is really to leverage the 75 years of experience the agency has and work in cooperation with the Salinas Valley Basin GSA to help them achieve their mission of sustainability. So, at the end of the day, why does it matter, right? The Salinas Valley Basin groundwater basin is larger than 500,000 acres. And that 500,000 acres encompasses over 250,000 people, most of whom, myself included, work in some way to support our $4+ billion farm gate agricultural economy. And so this isn't just about sustaining groundwater in the county, right? This is about sustaining the communities, the socioeconomic foundation, and ultimately the culture and the characteristics we value here so much. Because absent the availability of sustainable groundwater, much of what we have been doing for a long time now that is so important not only to the state but to the nation, right? In terms of all of the fresh produce that we produce that can't be produced anywhere else. It's significant. It's significant that we do this well, and we have worked very hard to get off on a good foot. So with the passage of the ordinance comes the real work, right? And so we're going to begin, and today is part of that effort, Nick, and thank you for the opportunity, begin our outreach. Many people within the boundaries that were established by the Department of Water Resources in 2014 have already been registered, have already been reporting extractions. But there are new geographic areas that we're going to have to reach into and communicate with and educate on new requirements. And even within the area that had been established 30 years ago, there will be changes that we need to be able to explain and educate folks on. Some of which have to do with previous reporting thresholds. Some folks who didn't have to report previously will have to report now. Some folks who didn't register in the past will need to register now. And another change that is a part of the new ordinance and a part of this new approach to support this regulatory program is the establishment of a regulatory fee, which will be applied on a per well basis. And so the agency is currently in the process of performing the study necessary to establish and support this fee. And we expect to see an initial draft of that by the end of this calendar year. Our intention is to reach out to stakeholders and converse with them about the study. What did we get right? What did we get wrong? Spend the early part of 2025 having that conversation with the ultimate goal of being in that second quarter as all of the county's agencies are going through our annual budgeting processes, translating that conversation ultimately into the budget and into the fee, which we would expect to go into effect on July 1 of 2025. And so that's very much, where we've been and where we plan to go. Myself at the agency, Brett Harmon, my counterpart at the Salinas Valley Basin GSA, remain available for questions. We've met with many people, organized stakeholders, individuals, and everything in between, continue to want to do that. We have developed in terms of some of the initial questions, there might be a frequently asked questions page. Right. And so that is both on the Salinas Valley Basin GSA website and on the Water Resources Agency website. And, we are entering into the initial steps of this public outreach campaign. And so that will continue for months and frankly for years to come, because this won't be all implemented overnight. Then lastly, I just simply want to thank, the staff at the Salinas Valley Basin GSA and at the Water Resources Agency for their great collaboration and work that have led us here, for the support and the leadership that the Board of Supervisors has demonstrated, as well as the guidance and encouragement that we've received from our directors. And perhaps most importantly, the constructive engagement from the numerous stakeholders we've been able to reach out. The initial draft was made public in early May, and through that constructive engagement with stakeholders, we really ended up with a product adopted yesterday that was much better than what we began. And so I very much appreciate their engagement in all of this.
So this was a real collaborative effort. And, the great news is it's not something that's going to happen overnight. There's a transition period. So that's going to give you and your partners ample time to reach out to the various different stakeholder groups.
Correct. And we'll prioritize that work as well, because there are 6 subbasins in the Salinas Valley groundwater basin, and they are operating on different timelines. And so the ones that are on the shorter timelines will begin there. We'll begin in the areas that haven't previously been reporting, and then we'll branch out, over time into other areas. Another important piece of the ordinance is the opportunity it creates for other agencies in the county that are also responsible for groundwater management, because the Salinas Valley Basin GSA is not the only one. It creates opportunity for them if they want to approach the Water Resources Agency to provide services for them. It creates that
Excellent. And so obviously with anything that has to do with water, this is really an effort for stewardship. I mean, at the end of the day, water is the lifeblood of civilization and certainly the Salinas Valley in particular. Has there been a lot of feedback from stakeholder groups and dialogue with those folks?
Yeah, there has been quite a bit, yes, and on multiple levels and on multiple topics. And so with respect to what we're talking about today in the groundwater monitoring program, there's broad understanding of its importance and broad support for it going forward. There will be other aspects of groundwater management that, will be controversial and difficult going forward, but we're going to have to address those challenges as we come to them.
Well, when it comes to managing natural resources, there's nothing easy about that.
No.
That's for sure.
Absolutely.
Well, Ara, thank you very much for being with us today and for agreeing to be our first live in-person guest. So thank you so much.
Yeah, and Andres, it was painless.
All right, thank you. Okay, so we're going to shift gears and I'm waiting to see if we have questions in the chat yet. Not yet, but we are going to shift gears to elections. There's something coming up in November. What could that be, Gina Martinez? And our elections registrar and director of our elections department is here with us to talk about some of the things that people need to know about as they approach this new election season. Welcome, Gina.
Thank you. Thank you, Nick. And it's not coming up in November. It is here. Thank you so much for having me. I'm Gina Martinez, Registrar of Voters, and with me today is Greta Arevalo. She's our Elections Program Manager. She will be repeating our presentation in Spanish, and since we're all thanking Dr. Gutierrez, I do want to thank Dr. Gutierrez and Hartnell College. We have a long partnership with Hartnell College in offering a polling place on Election Day. So November 7th, if you attend that career fair, then remember to return November 7th and vote or drop off your vote by mail ballot. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen, hopefully. I'm always very careful in this process. And Nick, we can see the screen, correct?
Yes, it's working perfectly, Gina.
Wonderful, wonderful. So again, presidential general election is here, and we are encouraging our voters to make their plan to vote. As we have done over the past 4 years, all active voters will receive a ballot in the mail. They may return that completed ballot in the U.S. mail or in person to any drop box or voting location in the state. In-person voting options will be available, including several early voting locations, and 66 polling places will open countywide on Election Day, joining our satellite office and the elections office for in-person voting. Key election dates. Now, our local and state voter information guides are already making their way through the mail. Many of our voters have already received them and are preparing for their ballots. Ballots will begin mailing tomorrow and will likely start arriving as early as this weekend, but will continue to arrive in mailboxes throughout next week. Early and in-person voting will begin October 7th at the Monterey County Elections Office at 8 a.m. The last day for regular registration is October 21st. Now, if you miss that deadline, we will still be able to assist you with same-day voter registration and conditional voting beginning October 22nd and running through November 5th. The last day to vote, that is the last day to vote in person or return your mail ballot, is November 5th. This is that familiar envelope our voters have become accustomed to and should start seeing as early as this weekend. Be on the lookout for this. On the back of this envelope includes some instructions and contact information. If you have questions, if you need assistance, please don't hesitate to call the Monterey County Elections Office. We are here to assist you. We have actual people on our phone lines answering our phones. We have actual people. I'm one of them who responds to emails. So please go ahead and use that information to get your questions answered, including where do I vote? What do I do if I want to vote in person? I don't understand what's on my ballot. What's in my voter guide? Where can I get more information? We can help you with all of that. Inside that envelope, there is a ballot cover page. I feel as though there's a lot of great information that our voters may not be looking at here. This cover page includes frequently asked questions, specific messages to the voter. We do have specific messages to voters. For example, if you're a first-time voter and you fail to provide identification on your registration card, we are going to have a note included on this ballot cover page saying, voter, we need ID from you. Please contact the elections office so we can count your ballot. It also includes a list of ballot return boxes, in-person voting locations, early voting locations, and the coveted I voted sticker. It's all included in your packet. The ballot is a two-card ballot. All of our voters will be receiving two cards, A and B. On the front of the A card is the presidential contest and U.S. Senate contest, followed by congressional, and then our state legislative contests. Then starts our local contest. Please keep reading down that ballot. I know a lot of people are excited about president and vice president, but we really have something for everyone on here. On the back of that A card begin the state propositions. The state propositions lead into the B card, followed by our local measures. For our school districts, our cities, our county, our local government offices have a number of important local measures for you to read and vote on. And of course, a return envelope. Please return your ballot, both the A and B card, in this envelope, and remember to sign so that we can help make your vote count. Now, returning your ballot. I mentioned this very quickly, but I am going to stress it. You do have many options. Oftentimes people say, what is the safest way? What is the most accessible way? What is the best way for a voter to vote? Well, it depends on the voter. So returning your ballot, we're just going to give you all of your options. You can return your ballot by mail. Most of our voters do return their ballot in the US mail. The last recommended day to mail your ballot is October 29th. That is in advance of November 5th. Ballots postmarked on or before Election Day, November 5th, and received by November 12th will be accepted, but we are encouraging voters after October 29th to return that ballot in person to any official ballot return box, voting location, or election office in the state by 8 p.m. on Election Day. Now, a list of local return locations is available on the Monterey County Elections website. And again, it's included in that ballot packet, so you don't have to go very far to see where you can return that information. We have in-person voting options for anyone who wishes to vote a regular ballot in person. We know a lot of our voters love that in-person option, and we are here to provide that to them. Early voting starts at Monterey County Elections again this Monday at 8 a.m. We have dates and times available. We're open during regular business hours. And then as we approach the election, we start adding our weekend hours. So we have special weekend voting hours, October 26th and 27th, and November 2nd and 3rd from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. And of course, Election Day, we are open 7 a.m. to 8 p.m. We are very proud to once again partner with Embassy Suites and offer a satellite location at 1441 Canyon Del Rey in Seaside. Early voting begins there October 29th and runs through Election Day, 8 p.m. And again, they will have weekend hours, November 2nd and 3rd. You can return your ballot, register to vote, or vote in person at Embassy Suites. We have several early voting locations where we bring our entire office setup to communities at places and times our community members are at that are convenient to them. This includes our books and ballots program. We have the entire listing on our website. We have flyers. The flyer is also included in the voter information guide. So this information is current on our website. We continue to add dates to the early voting locations. I encourage you to visit that Monterey County Elections website or call the office and we can help find an early voting location near you. And as I stated earlier, over 60 assigned polling places will open in Monterey County across the county, providing accessible voting locations for our voters. We are a geographically very large county, and this is one of those methods that really does provide an incredible service to our voters. Now the voter guides. Oftentimes we're asked, where can I find more information about these state propositions? There are plenty on your ballot. That will be in your state voter guide. That is to the right of the screen. The state voter guide includes state and federal candidate information and state propositions. It is printed in a specific language. If you requested a different language, you will receive that language from the state directly. Our local voter guide includes local candidate statements if the candidate submitted one, local measure information, a sample ballot so you can practice, and it is printed in English and in Spanish. We are very proud of the Monterey County elections website. This is a website that is brand new after the March 5th primary. We encourage you to visit it, countyofmonterey.gov/elections. Under the elections tab, you'll see all of the pertinent election information you could ever want, including information, general information about what this election is about, what's on the ballot, ballot drop-off locations, polling places, how to observe elections, and you can even find your specific local voter information guide and your specific polling place by visiting the voter guide and polling place locator. I do want to mention that we talked about what's the best way to vote for voters, and that really is a specific situation to each voter. So voters who have specific needs, we encourage voters to call the elections office and talk with us, or email the elections office, reach out in some way. We provide a number of services to our voters to make sure that everyone has an opportunity to vote independently and privately. And this ranges from a ballot marking device that includes a tactile voting pad, sip and puff capability, audio ballot, a variable contrast, and variable font. We offer curbside voting at all of our in-person voting locations, language assistance, and we can even provide assistance in marking your ballot. For those who would need to vote in the comfort of their own home using their own assistive technology, we can arrange for that as well through the remote accessible vote by mail program. But we encourage our voters, once again, to reach out to the election official. We can talk through your specific scenario and come up with a plan of action that would suit your needs. Now, again, that make your plan to vote, it's really important. We're in California. The other day, we were training staff and I said, you know, what do we do in an emergency? Well, we're in California, we have earthquakes. And as of late, we've been pretty lucky because Southern California has been getting those earthquakes. And then that very night we had an earthquake and it woke everybody up. So make your plan to vote. We don't know what's going to happen. Check this off your list early. If you know how you're going to vote and you get your ballot, go ahead and vote and return it, get it off your list. Now, we want voters to know that their voter registration information, including their address, their political party, their name, and their voting history, is always available to them. And they do not have to go through the elections office. This is something that is available to them. It's always at their fingertips. They can visit voterstatus.sos.ca.gov and confirm their voting information, confirm their political party affiliation, and confirm their voting history. They can contact Monterey County Elections. If they are temporarily away, election mail does not forward. So if you are temporarily away and have set up that forwarding mailing address, your ballot will come back to Monterey County Elections and we will attempt to reach out to you, but you should actually contact us to set up a mailing address with elections. Now, there is still time to register to vote, as I mentioned earlier, or to update your information, just visit registertovote.ca.gov. And as always, just like I said with the voter status, your information is available to you at any point in time. You can sign up for Where's My Ballot.sos.ca.gov. This is a ballot tracks where you can track your ballot. When your ballot hits the mail, when the ballot is delivered to you, when the USPS picks it up and returns it to elections, to when we receive it and count it, you can sign up for text messages that says elections has your ballot and it's counted, or elections has your ballot and you forgot to sign the envelope and you need to contact them. It will always, that information is available to you at any time and we will directly reach out to you with that information. Now, again, contact us if there's an issue, if you have questions, if you need support, we are here for you. We have this information available for you. We have an entire team of people on phones right now ready to answer calls from you. And as always, register, vote, volunteer, South Monterey County. If you are looking to volunteer, boy, do we have spots for you in Pine Canyon and King City and Soledad. So all you have to be is a registered voter, a lawful permanent resident, and we love our Hartnell College students who volunteer with us and work at our polling places. There we go. I'm going to hand it over to Miss Greta.
All right, great. Thank you, Gina. That was a lot of information, Greta. I know you're going to go through it in Spanish, so welcome to the briefing.
Thank you, Nick. Buenas tardes a todos. Mi nombre es Greta. Yo soy la gerente del programa de voto por correo y las elecciones presidenciales generales pues ya están aquí. Ya estamos animando a todos nuestros votantes a que hagan su plan para poder empezar a votar. Muy bien, pues como vemos, nosotros estamos ya empezando con la preparación. Y como hemos tenido durante los últimos 4 años, todos los votantes activos recibirán una boleta por correo y pueden devolver esa boleta completamente por correo postal o en persona a cualquier buzón o lugar de votación en el estado. Tendremos opción para que las personas también puedan votar en persona, incluidos varios lugares de votación anticipada y como siempre tenemos los 66 lugares de votación que abrirán en el condado el día de las elecciones junto con nuestra oficina satélite y nuestra oficina aquí en la ciudad de Salinas. Las fechas importantes que se tienen que recordar y mencionar es que, bueno, primero, las guías de información electoral y estatal ya se están enviando por correo. Tal vez ustedes ya la han recibido o está próximamente por recibirla en su domicilio. Las boletas vamos a iniciar a enviarlas a partir del día de mañana, 3 de octubre, y probablemente comiencen a llegar a sus buzones este fin de semana o durante la siguiente semana. La votación temprana y en proceso está disponible a partir del 7 de octubre en la Oficina de Elecciones del Condado de Monterey y el último día para el registro regular es el 21 de octubre. Si la persona por casualidad perdió esa oportunidad para registrarse antes del 21 de octubre, aún tienen la oportunidad de registrarse después a partir del 22 de octubre con el registro de votante del mismo día. Todo esto hasta el 5 de noviembre, que es el último día para votar. Esta es la imagen sobre el sobre de envío que se les va a hacer llegar a todos los votantes. Este sobre incluye las instrucciones e información del contacto. Si necesita comunicarse con el equipo de elecciones para ayudar a los votantes, pueden llamarnos por teléfono, visitarnos en persona o mandarnos un correo electrónico y estamos aquí para ayudarlos. Estamos listos para hacer que este proceso de votación sea fácil y sencillo para todos ustedes. Dentro de este sobre, las personas van a poder encontrar una página de la portada de la boleta con información importante y específica para cada votante. Esto incluye si el votante tiene un lugar de votación asignado o algún tipo de preguntas frecuentes. Un ejemplo de este tipo de información puede ser si tal vez este votante está votando por primera vez en una elección federal y necesitamos información adicional para poder contar su boleta. Ahí habrá indicaciones sobre cómo esta persona tiene que proveer esa información o comunicarse con nuestra oficina para que nosotros podamos contar ese voto. También incluye una lista de buzones de devolución y lugares que las personas pueden ir a votar en persona y como siempre la calcomanía que todos adoran, la que dice que ya votaron. Los paquetes de votación por correo también incluirán una boleta que en este caso son 2 tarjetas con las contiendas del frente y en el dorso. La tarjeta A va a incluir la contienda presidencial con las 2 contiendas del senador de Estados Unidos y también otras contiendas para el Congreso, la legislatura estatal y cualquier otro candidato local. Luego también encontrarán ahí las propuestas estatales que conducen a la tarjeta B y finalmente los votantes verán las iniciativas de ley locales. Hay algo para todos en esta boleta, así que es importante que la revisen y que revisen que hayan votado en las contiendas que ellos desean participar. Asegúrense, por favor, de usar un bolígrafo de tinta azul o negra al momento de que estén votando. El sobre de devolución es importante para que las personas puedan entregar esa boleta. Por favor, recuerden que tiene que estar firmado ese sobre para que puedan su voto ser contado. En caso de que ustedes olviden firmarlo, se le va a dar continuación para poder ayudarlo a que su voto sea contado. Los votantes tienen opciones para devolver la boleta con su voto. Muchas veces las personas nos preguntan, bueno, ¿cuál es la mejor manera de entregar mi boleta o cuál es la forma más segura? ¿Cuáles recomiendan? Pues hay varias opciones. Cada votante puede tomar la decisión de cómo quieren entregar su boleta y las boletas se pueden devolver por correo. No se necesita un franqueo. El último día que se recomienda para que puedan enviar su boleta por correo para estas elecciones es el 29 de octubre. Si desean hacerlo después de esa fecha, se recomienda que lo usen, que lo entreguen ya sea en persona en un buzón electoral o bien en el día de las elecciones a su casilla. Si lo entregaran en el correo postal, asegúrense de que se coloque un matasello con la fecha antes de la elección y todas las boletas que tengan un matasello con fecha al día de la elección o antes y que sean recibidas antes del 12 de noviembre podrán ser procesadas y contadas. Si el votante lo desea, también puede devolver su boleta en cualquier buzón de devolución oficial dentro del estado de California a más tardar el 8 de la noche, el día de las elecciones. Y también recuerden que nuestra página de internet, así como su paquete de devolución, incluye una lista de opciones de devolución de las boletas. Aquí se muestra, bueno, pues obviamente que las opciones que nosotros estamos dando a nuestros votantes es una opción de votación en persona. Esto incluye la oficina electoral del condado en Monterrey, en nuestra oficina en 1441 Schilling Place. Estamos abiertos durante el horario comercial habitual, lunes a viernes de 8 de la mañana a 5 de la tarde, pero los días de fin de semana del 26 y 27 de octubre, así como también el 2 y 3 de noviembre, estaremos abiertos para asesorar y ayudar a nuestros votantes en el condado de 9 de la mañana a 5 de la tarde, y también recordando para las personas que estén interesadas en participar y que lo han hecho anteriormente en la oficina satélite ubicada en Embassy Suites, lo pueden hacer a partir del 29 de octubre hasta el día de las elecciones. Ese lugar también estará abierto el día 2 y 3 de noviembre de 9 de la mañana a 5 de la tarde. También nuestra oficina pone en nuestra página de internet las opciones que las personas pueden tener para votar en persona. Poco a poco hemos empezado a crear más diseminación sobre las actividades de cómo las personas pueden votar en persona, y estamos incluyendo centros de votación flexible en todo el condado, tanto a través de nuestro programa de libros y boletas como de asociaciones con organizaciones comunitarias y ciudades. Esta simplemente es un ejemplo de qué es lo que hemos logrado hasta el momento sobre qué lugares pueden las personas ir a votar en persona antes de la elección de una manera temprana, pero también recordarles que esta información forma parte de su guía electoral, y también visitar nuestro sitio web de elecciones para obtener una lista actualizada. Y por supuesto, como somos un condado donde las personas tienen un lugar de votación, nosotros continuamos y continuaremos brindando la votación en persona en más de 60 lugares en todo el condado el día de las elecciones. Estos lugares abren de 7 de la mañana a 8 de la noche el día de la elección, que es el 5 de noviembre. Como lo mencionamos anteriormente, las guías electorales se están enviando por correo, y hay dos tipos de guías electorales: la guía electoral local y la guía electoral estatal. En la guía electoral local, allí las personas van a poder encontrar información sobre las declaraciones de los candidatos para aquellos que han presentado una declaración, también información sobre iniciativas de ley locales, una muestra de la boleta, y completamente estas guías electorales locales son bilingües en inglés y español. Las guías para votantes estatales incluyen información sobre candidatos estatales y federales y las propuestas estatales. Las elecciones del condado de Monterrey tienen un sitio web que es totalmente nuevo y está disponible en countyofmonterey.gov/elecciones. Está en inglés y también en español. En el menú despegable debajo de la sección de elecciones, nuestros votantes podrán encontrar información relacionada con el día de las elecciones, que es el 5 de noviembre, incluido lo que se encuentra en la boleta, los lugares de devolución de las boletas o lugares para votar en persona, y otras opciones más. Queremos también enfatizar que a los votantes pues tienen diferentes opciones disponibles para que nosotros podamos ayudarlos. Como lo mencionábamos antes, muchas veces los votantes nos preguntan de qué manera pueden ellos votar de la mejor, de una manera independiente o privada, y todo depende de la situación en la que ellos se encuentren. Nosotros entendemos que cada situación es diferente, y por eso queremos hacer una extensión de lo que existe actualmente para que ellos puedan votar de una manera independiente y privada. Entendemos que no existe una solución única para todos los votantes en su situación específica, pero estamos aquí para ayudarlos. Así que ustedes pueden llamar a nuestra oficina para poder recibir información adicional, o podemos explicarles sus opciones para que puedan votar. Cierta de las actividades que tenemos ahí. Oh, Gina, sorry.
The whole thing just crashed right now. Sorry.
Oh, that's okay. Well, I'll just keep going without the presentations, if that's fine. Ok, nuevamente, este tipo de información que nosotros tenemos para los votantes con algún tipo de accesibilidad independiente y privada puede incluir una pantalla táctil donde el votante puede usar un audio o lectura para poder marcar su boleta de una manera independiente. A medida que los votantes están acercándose a las elecciones, es importante que tengan un plan, y lo que nosotros queremos recordarles es que se preparen, que tomen un tiempo para planificar y verificar su información. La información para los votantes siempre está disponible a sus manos. Eso lo pueden encontrar en la página de voterstatus.sos.ca.gov para ahí poder confirmar ellos su información de domicilio, su nombre, su historial de votación, si ya han votado o no, algún tipo de partido que estén ellos registrados. Y también recordarles que cualquier información no tienen que contactar directamente a nuestra oficina, lo pueden hacer ellos a través de esta página que mencioné. Cualquier persona que esté interesada en registrarse o actualizar su información, aún tienen tiempo, visiten la página registertovote.ca.gov y finalmente los votantes tienen toda su información a su alcance. Pueden también dar un seguimiento a su boleta y saber en qué proceso se encuentra, si ya se ha contado la boleta, si tal vez está en una situación en que la boleta, tal vez la firma no coincide o le faltó, se olvidaron firmar. Ahí pueden ustedes conocer cuál es el estado actual de su boleta una vez que ya se haya procesado por nuestra oficina. Para registrarse para ese servicio, pueden hacerlo a través de where'smyballot.sos.ca.gov. Y obviamente, pues recuerden que es importante que se registren, voten y sean un voluntario con el Departamento de Elecciones. Estamos buscando a personas en el sur del condado, así que comuníquese con la Oficina de Elecciones del Condado de Monterey para obtener más información. Gina, back to you.
Thank you. And I just want to say thank you, Greta, for running with that in the lapse of our PowerPoint presentation. The PowerPoint will be made available. I'll send it over to Nick so he can share. Thank you for that.
All right. Thank you, Gina and Greta. Greta, oh my goodness. You came up
Amazing.
come up for air.
Mhm.
You're amazing.
Yes.
All right. So a lot of information for voters is very important. Every election is important. But of course, we're fortunate to have a great election staff, and Gina and Greta's team are there for the residents of Monterey County, which I think is the biggest message that we want to get across today. So yes, do share those slides and we'll make sure they get in the hands of our media guests that are not available to be here today and those that are. So thank you so much for that information.
Thank you.
All right, last thing was added late today, but it's very important. And we have Cynthia Burnham on with us today from our animal services, and in particular Hitchcock Road Animal Services. And Cynthia, there's a situation with the shelters that we really need people to be aware of because, you know, unfortunately, we're in a rare spot where we're at capacity.
Yes, thank you. Hi, I'm Cindy Burnham with Hitchcock Road Animal Services. And I will, I'm going to share my screen. Okay. Yeah, thank you. We wanted to share because we've had a lot of animals come in the last week, 105 to be exact, and it has filled our capacity. And I know it's a message we've been putting out there a lot. Unfortunately, it's not slowing down. We do think we're continuing to see a post-COVID combination of folks struggling in their homes, lack of vet care, lack of spay-neuter. So there's a lot of catch-up we're doing, but in the meantime, we are getting a lot of animals. So we are currently at 130% of our dog capacity. Yesterday, every single kennel was full until we were able to do some adoptions and rescue transfers and some owners that came and got their pets. So we want the message to continue. That our kennels are full. We need owners to come look for their pets. And so that's the key to my message, and I'll share some ways that we can also help. But for the short term, we are waiving all of our boarding, impound, and late fees through Saturday for owners that come and reclaim their animals now. There may be some, residual licensing and vaccinations. Not all pets get them or need them at the time they come to the shelter. But we don't want that to be a barrier to folks coming to get their animals. And also know that we always work with owners when it comes to reclaiming their animals when we can. If somebody's not able to pay or they're struggling or there's situations that, we can help with, we will. The main thing is that we want folks to reach out to us if they think their pet is at the shelter. So we take in animals that are from the city of Salinas, unincorporated Monterey County, and strays from Greenfield, Marina, Delray Oaks, Carmel, and any found at CSUMB. So But the main thing is if you've lost your pet, please come look at Hitchcock Road. And also some reminders, because some of the animals that were coming in, we know are owned. They're in great shape. They're very happy and healthy. Some of them have collars, but no tags or microchips that aren't registered. So we wanted to send a reminder that there is a leash law in Monterey County. There are no areas where, unless it's designated a specific off-leash park, that your dog can run loose. But when you let your dog run loose, they can get lost. And so we want folks to be reminded to keep your dog on a leash. Pets who do get lost are more likely to go home if they're wearing ID and have a microchip. So, contact us if you don't have either of those. We can help refer you to resources. And also, pets that are spayed and neutered are less likely to wander off in the first place. That drive to go find a date in the animal world is very strong, and spaying and neutering them can help reduce that. And we do have resources on our website for pet owners, low-cost ones as well, for anybody that needs them. And unfortunately, we are seeing animals left in places where there is no way that they got there on their own. We understand times are tough, expenses are high, pet food's expensive, trust us, we know this. But it is never okay to abandon your animal, never. The mental stress that puts them through is inhumane. It can make them very hard to try to work with. And we want folks to know, if you are struggling, please reach out for resources. That's the right thing to do if you truly love your pet. And we know there are tons of people out there that love their pet. Let us help you. Again, on our website, we've got resources for pet owners. You're welcome to call us, but we want folks to know that, it's not okay to abandon them. It's not okay to leave, puppies in a box, kittens in a box, guinea pigs in a box. Bring them to us, call us, let us help you before you get to that situation. And also a reminder, our new licensing program also helps pets get back home. So if you are in the city of Salinas, unincorporated Monterey County, Carmel, and Del Rey Oaks, and haven't licensed your dog yet, our new DocuPet system includes a 24/7 lost pet service. So, we're trying to maximize the ways that pets can find their way back home. And you can go onto our website at hitchcockroadanimals.org. You can come see us in person. We've recently expanded our office hours for licensing from 10 to 5 Tuesday through Saturday. And if your pet's licensed and you want to add another one to your home, we have new hours. Every Saturday, beginning this Saturday, we will be opening early until further notice at 11 a.m. for adoption. So we're expanding our adoption hours on Saturday mornings. All of our animals can be viewed online, and it's updated actually every hour. So if you're wondering what we have up for adoption, just go to hitchcockroadanimals.org. We do frequently have reduced fees for adoptable pets. This Saturday at 11 o'clock is one of our reduced fees, where dogs will be $50 and cats will be $25, I believe. All of them are spayed and neutered, vaccinated, and microchipped. There's my contact information. Should you have other questions, I'll also send Nick this slide that he can share.
Well, thank you, Cindy. This is so important. I mean, pets are part of our families, and we wouldn't abandon one of our family members. We shouldn't abandon our pets. So thank you for bringing that to our attention. Appreciate that.
No problem.
Let's see if there's anybody who has any questions before we adjourn our meeting today. I'm looking in the chat. I don't see any, but what we'll do is we'll be following up with our media contacts and making sure they receive all the information that was presented today. On behalf of the County of Monterey and the County Communications Bureau housed here in the County Administrative Office, I want to thank you all for being on our program this afternoon. This is very important that we get information out to the public that's timely, accurate, and transparent. Thank you all very much. We'll see you back here next Wednesday at noon. Have a great day, everyone.